Hello, my name is Brayden Oski.
I'm Jason Hobbs.
And I'm Austin Rouse, and you're watching The Intergamer On.
And today we are talking about Andrew Reiner stepping down as editor-in-chief of Game Informer, which leads us into the larger conversation of this noticeable shift and transition happening within gaming, where there's less and less the big publications and a lot more of the individual people like us. So you should, like, subscribe, bang that bell. It's really sad, though. We're really sad to see Andrew Reiner step down. Game Informer is changing, and we have a lot to say about that. So,
and as always, if you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and bang that bell. But mostly like it because that's what actually drives views. So thanks for your help.
Game Informer has been going through a lot of shit lately.
What?
That doesn't surprise me.
Andrew Reiner?
And a couple years ago, GameStop, the parent company, came out and said, we're just going to lay off like 7 people. And they laid off a bunch of really well-respected writers of the Game Informer team. And Game Informer as a publication is like 30 people. Like, they're not very big. But they've done a lot. They've been in business since like the early 90s. They've been around forever. And then soon after that, Andy McNamara, who was the editor-in-chief for like 20 years at Game Informer, announced that he was leaving, and he went to work for EA as the director of Star Wars and shooters or something like that, which is kind of cool, or community manager. So he went over there. And then Andrew Reiner stepped in, who had been like his right-hand man for forever.
Hey, we saw him talk.
Yeah, we saw him give a talk at QuakeCon, yeah. Then, like literally 3 months ago, another round of layoffs came from GameStop. Never told Andrew Reiner, never told anybody. That just said, hey, these 3 employees that you have are being fired today. And just let go. And they just got let go. And so that brought their team down to like 6 people, I think now. They used to have like 30. Now they have like a staff of 6 or 7. Very, very small team. They have one video editor who's doing the whole podcast, all the video editing content, and like writing information and stuff like that. Like, he's like crazy busy. And then somebody else at their team, after they got down to like 6 or 7, willingly just like said, I'm going to leave because I don't like the culture anymore. It's just GameStop's being a bunch of bullshit. Let's leave. And then they went to one of the people they fired and hired them back, because then they were like, oh shit, we just lost somebody else, so let's bring this person back. So they brought that back. So then, like 2 months later, now Andrew Reiner has come out and said, my time is done. He's been editor-in-chief for about 2 years now. He's stepping down and moving on to other things. He got another job opportunity. He couldn't pass it up. He's going in to make games now for somebody.
Nice.
Not sure yet. And then Matt Miller, who we've also met. We met him at E3. I don't know if we didn't actually meet him, but he was like present with us when we were at that indie showcase at the top of that like skyscraper rooftop building or whatever, checking out those VR games and stuff. He was there. So he's taken over. But it's just crazy, like, because like I grew up on Game Informer. Like, I have like a really strong connection to this like group. Like, they're the reasons I want to get in, like doing like podcasting and like doing all these different things. Like, they influence a lot of that because they just do cool shit, and they've like been like the voice of the community for so long. Always get the best exclusives, all that stuff. So it's just sad to see like all this stuff turnover happening just because GameStop is fucked up and can't get their shit together and take care of their employees. So yeah,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, it really is sad.
It was bound to happen.
I mean, things like Game Informer, like they're slowly dying.
Yeah.
Like outside of IGN, which has just become, well, I don't know how well they're doing, but it kind of seems like they're coasting.
Yeah, they're coasting.
Like Game Informer, it's just the heydays are way behind us now.
Oh yeah, especially now. It's just.
Well, I'm glad. Like it's cool to see these guys who can just jump into other things in the same field area.
Well, it definitely seems like a lot of these like publications that do games media are essentially, to their own fault, going under, and what's stepping up is now groups like us that are well, I mean, like groups like us, just not, unfortunately not us but groups like us.
We'll step in.
But you know,
make
like,
room, motherfuckers.
Kind of funny is coming in, and like, you know, we're coming in, obviously, you know, all that stuff is happening. And oh my god,
I don't think anyone heard that.
No, good. Don't want anyone to hear it.
Because in addition to this one happening, like, which Andrew Reiner just voluntarily stepped down. But
well, he sees it.
yeah,
I mean, if he's stepping down, I mean, they're on the major decline right now.
Well, and it's crazy because like so G4 TV just recently came back a year or two ago, right?
Yeah.
A year ago.
I've been following that mess.
Oh my god,
it is a hot mess.
They just had 20 to 30 staff members laid off at G4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just out of nowhere. And it's just like, okay, they built this thing up, they grew it, made it a thing, and then just like done. They're out. And then meanwhile, another big website called Fanbyte, which is owned by Tencent. That's why I said Tencent's coming back in the conversation. They also laid off like 90% of their staff or something. That's like literally the same week. So like,
gotta love it.
all this stuff is happening. And it's just like kind of crazy.
There's nothing else. I mean,
Well, it's
to
like
see these big companies doing
when
it, like,
everyone
going
moved
under.
from like watching TV and reading the newspaper to like being online and stop watching TV shows, and now you're watching YouTube stuff. Like everything's on YouTube. Everyone's following their own content creator, and there's millions of them out there at this point.
but you don't really need this
You don't.
anymore.
You don't. You want influencers who have their own opinions about things.
Not unless they had something on like Brett said, like on Netflix or something like that, like a actual channel or anything like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the only way. Because I was excited that G4 TV came back, but I didn't know really where to watch it or
Yeah. It was on.
it was on.
It was on YouTube. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I do like having these centralized outlets. Where you're like, you know, everything's gonna get funneled through there. But now you're gonna have to like go find content creators who, you know, I feel like with Game Informer and other outlets like that, like they have a way of presenting information to you where you kind of are able to get the gist of what you want, and they can go in more in depth if you want that too.
Yeah.
Unlike a content creator, which you have to watch the video and then get through all the fucking bullshit from the first 5 minutes to get to the juice of what's going
going to happen.
And it just is rough, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, finding the right one who some are more like Game Informer, but others are like, look at me, bah, 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 bah. Here's my day and stuff. And this, I got up this morning and I took a shit and I made food. And okay, so let's talk about what I want to talk about. And I'm like, oh, dude, why? Who wants to watch this?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to watch that.
I know.
I mean,
Fucking
it's-
start doing that.
Millions of
Hear about
views.
my day?
Yeah.
God bless. I work with a bunch of kids that are adults that are older than me, and they're a bunch of fucking idiots.
Do you want to tell us something?
You want me to? You want me to express?
Let's not do that here. But at the same
man.
time, like now we're being centralized through YouTube, which has algorithms which pushes certain content that it thinks that you want to watch, and so
Yeah.
it gets very confusing. And now you can't find the good people when, you know, back in the day, the best of the best rose to the top.
Yeah.
And now
but
it's
they're
just-
in the top was like working at IGN or working at whatever, and now that's not the top anymore. It's like those people are now off. Like,
Well, I meant like on YouTube.
yeah.
Like the algorithm would push the best stuff. So back in the day, I felt like you could find centralized people who could give you the content that's filtered in a way that makes it easy to understand and get notified by things. And now it's just, hey, we think you're going to like this. And, you know, most of the time I think it's not successful.
Yeah.
So I don't even know where to go anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can go to Twitter, but that's just a whole other can of worms.
Yeah. Twitter's an interesting space too.
I go to the newspaper.
There's no gaming on there.
All right, Grandpa.
Yeah.
I know.
All right. It's also crazy too. So like Imran Khan, who used to work for Game Informer, he was one of the ones that got laid off unexpectedly by them. He went to Fanbyte, and then you know how he got laid off? He was on a business trip for Fanbyte in Japan, and while he was sleeping in Japan, he woke up to a bunch of friends texting him, "Dude, you're not working anymore? Like, what happened?" And he's like, "I was sleeping."
Oh,
He got laid off in his sleep. Like,
He
can you
got
imagine
laid
that?
off
It's
in his
crazy.
sleep.
And he was working at the time?
Well, he was working, for Fanbyte in Japan and got
I
a
hope he just
notification when he
left.
was in bed.
Hope he just like, fuck this. I'm not
Apparently,
going to
he's got a good something or another coming lined up, which is good. But then also, the editor in chief of Fanbyte was Danielle Riendeau, who I've known for a while because she used to be one of the people on Idle Thumbs way back in the day when they were a big podcast, and she got let go. So they laid off the boss as well as like over half of their staff. It's like what are you going to do? I haven't actually even heard much of Fanbyte, but I know a lot of people have flocked to Fanbyte because they were like, the culture was great, blah, 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 on the website. And then now they just like, Tencent was like, just fuck you guys.
You know, this is actually, wow, we're in another transition in gaming.
Yeah.
Like, So the first one was like everyone was at these outlets,
Right.
and then they started moving to do their own thing, and so they were able to take all of that base and bring it over to YouTube and other sites like it. And now it's like there's people who are going to come into the space being like those people.
Yeah.
But now they're just like they never started there.
Yeah.
So like,
well, they're kind of become their own like indie games media people.
I know. Speaking about PlayStation's GameStop's doing a PlayStation drop right now.
So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So when you hear this, it's too late.
Tomorrow.
It's still too late.
It's something good, but it wasn't.
Wow. Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
You're welcome.
That. Yeah.
I got an alert. I'm sorry.
Don't you have PlayStation?
I do.
Yeah.
But for other people that don't.
Okay.
What were you saying, bro?
Sorry.
I don't remember anymore. I lost it.
Oh,
but,
shit. The transition and
gaming.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's a lot of consolidation now happening. Kind of again, it's like kind of in a cycle because it used to be.
It's a fly.
There's been a lot of people that because Kind of Funny, like I listen to Kind of Funny, I listen to MinMax, and listen to Game Informer outside of our podcast. Those are the three groups that I typically listen to, and they all have they all share staff. Like none of them have dedicated staff as much. They just they're freelancing for all these different groups, and they come in on those groups and work with them and stuff like that, which I thought was interesting because this one girl, Janet Garcia, she's on Kind of Funny on the PlayStation podcast. Then she's a regular audience member on MinMax. And then they both share the content there or share the people there, which I think is interesting. It's kind of helping the masses, grow. And then when the Fanbyte thing happened, MinMax had a bunch of the Fanbyte people come on the podcast, and then they have their own podcast. So everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's got a Patreon now. It's it's getting very, very dense in the community. And that's what I think that's where there's going to be another set of consolidation happening where these groups are going to start combining together to help promote one another because you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Because it's we were talking about last time about Twitch streaming. It's eventually if you have too many Twitch streamers out there, I mean, it spreads so thin, you're going to have people that go to this thing or this thing, but it's your audience growth capabilities go down because there's so many people to be spread around all these different groups and outlets and stuff. Yeah.
So you will need that group of people co-op.
Yeah, kind of like a co-op, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's hey, we don't have to do as much, but we still have the same amount of engagement.
Yeah.
That's why if you ever want to start another, movie and TV show podcast, we will gladly have it as part of the network so we can grow and promote it and make it awesome. And if y'all have a podcast idea, we will help grow.
You want to eat food. You want to play board games. You want to build TVs. You want to build tables. I'm running out of shit to talk about.
Hey, I'll take all that.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Just call it the inner life. For the casual life goer.
It's phase 1 of our metaverse mega plan.
That's right.